Alcoholism, an addiction to the consumption of alcohol liquor or the mental illness and compulsion behavior resulting from alcohol dependency. Some of the past treatments in the 1900s were the temperance movement. The temperance movement, which gained traction in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, advocated for abstinence of alcohol. Organizations like the Anti-Saloon League pushed for legal bans on alcohol consumption, which culminated in the Prohibition era in the United States. Moral and religious approaches. Some treatments were based on moral and religious principles. This involved moral persuasion, spiritual guidance, and religious interventions. Alcohol's Anonymous was founded in the 1930s and became more prominent in treating alcoholism through a spiritual and supportive fellowship.
Well, now we got asylums. People with severe alcohol addiction were often institutionalized or placed in asylums. These institutions aimed to control and contain individuals with alcohol use disorders, but did not necessarily provide specialized treatment. Next, we have somatic treatments. Somatic treatments, such as using certain drugs or medical procedures, were occasionally used. For instance, medications like antabuse, also called disulfiram, which creates an unpleasant reaction when alcohol is consumed, which were introduced in the late 1940s. Then we have the psychoanalytic and psychiatric approaches. Psychoanalytic theories were emerging during the early 1900s. While they were not primarily focused on addiction treatment, some psychoanalysts explored the psychological underpinnings of addictive behaviors. Additionally, psychiatric hospitals may have employed individual or group therapies to address underlying psychological issues contributing to alcoholism.
Okay. Some of the alcoholism symptoms include blacking out, dizziness, aggression, agitation, anxiety, nausea, fear, and slurred speech. Disulfiram was used to block the enzyme involved in breaking down alcohol, causing some very unpleasant side effects when combined with alcohol. This was used to discourage drinking.
Alright, now we're talking about treatments. Treatments only really involve counseling, which is behavioral therapy, as well as medications that reduce the desire to drink. Some people need medical detoxification to stop drinking safely. Mutual support groups help people stop drinking also. They also help manage relapses and cope with necessary lifestyle changes.
Modern treatments and medication for gambling disorder include naltrexone. It was initially designed for alcohol and opioid dependence, but studies suggest its potential in curbing cravings and impulse behavior linked to gambling addiction. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs. They're medications uh, like fluvoxamine and sertraline. Okay, hold on. Medications like fluvoxamine and sertraline used for depression and anxiety are being explored for their ability to reduce gambling urges and associated symptoms. Antidepressants and mood stabilizers are drugs such as bupropion or lithium may be prescribed to manage accompanying mental health conditions like depression or bipolar disorder and gambling addiction. And then finally, N-acetylcysteine, or NAC, was investigated for reducing compulsive behaviors, including gambling, by impacting brain glutamate levels.
Early 1900s approaches psychoanalysis. Freud's theories were gaining traction, focusing on the unconscious mind, but impulse disorders weren't specifically addressed in treatments. Institutionalization. Severe causes were often confined without specialized treatments for impulse control. Behavioral interventions. Behaviorism was emerging, but techniques for impulse disorders weren't established then. Somatic treatments. Methods like PCT, insulin, shock therapy, and frontal lobotomy were used for severe cases with significant risk. Limited pharmacological interventions. Medications were used to manage symptoms, but no specific drugs targeted impulse control.
Pick yourself up. Take a deep breath. Dust yourself off and start all over again. Nothing's impossible, I have found, for when my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up, dust myself off, and start all over again. Don't lose your confidence if you slip. Be grateful for a pleasant trip and pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. Work like a soul inspired.
This is Joe Rogan, back from the previous talk of the terrorist attack. It seems the targeted victims have followed course with Sigmund Freud and have also risen from their graves. Not much is known about any of the 5 victims. However, locals of New Orleans report seeing a new 6th member of the group. We have yet to confirm this information. However, this does raise some eyebrows. All sorts of rumors have sprung about how they may have come back to life. Everything from zombies to interdimensional travel. I will update you when we receive more information, but until then, this was Joe Rogan signing out.
They also help manage relapses and cope with necessary lifestyle changes.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah,
Stop.
Why am I here?
Okay, and we're back.
Alright. Oh, there it is. I was like, why isn't it working? I was pressing the remote like a million times and I just see a meteor phase through the building and blow his displays.
Interesting.